advice to fix up your home. Oh, gee, that's nice. So you don't have to feel like you're on your own. Just listen and learn.
Good morning in Petersburg. Good morning in Perham, home of the Yellow Jackets. Thank you for making KFGO number one in the morning, number one all day long. The KFGO Morning Crew, Doug Leier, Amistadi, getting your Tuesday set for you.
And if you have any questions about your house, we have help for you today. Lars Knobloch, Nordic Companies, Inc., is joining us in studio. He is a home inspector. 237-5948. 1-800-880-5346. Laney studio lines are open, or you can text in your questions for Lars to 35270. Good morning to you, Lars.
Good morning.
Well, we thought we'd start out talking to you about new home construction. Seems like there's always a building boom going on, and houses are going up like crazy here in the metro area.
They are. There's not a lot of existing homes on the market, so it seems like new construction is selling a lot better. And we have created a list of things to consider, either if you live or own, live in a new house, or if you own a new house, if you're thinking about building. And go to our Facebook page. We have pinned a post there on the top of our page with a lot of really good tips that you really want to consider. I'm going to go through a few of them now this morning. One mistake we commonly see people do after they move into their house, their lawn is not finished, and they're super excited to get their landscaping rocks in and their patio in. But it might be a good idea to wait at least a year before you do that.
Really?
The reason for that is that the soil next to the foundation likely is going to settle.
Oh.
So if you put landscaping rocks down, it's going to settle. And if you put a patio down, you might end up with a big void underneath it as the ground settles.
Okay.
So it's better to wait a year, add some more dirt, and be patient with that.
Even though nobody wants to look at black dirt versus a green lawn, right?
It's even worse. It's even worse, when you put landscaping rocks out, because if you want to fix your grade, then as it settles, you have to pull all the rocks out as well.
Save yourself some extra work and headaches, it sounds like, by doing that.
Absolutely.
All right. What else should we be maybe looking out for?
You really don't want to build a house without having a ventilation system. I talk about ventilation systems all the time, but with a new construction, you really need that. You need to tell your builder, I want to have a ventilation system in my home.
Now, are you talking like those whirlybirds on top of our house, or what are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about like a balanced ventilation in the living area of your house that brings fresh air in, that helps you control the condensation and improves the air quality.
Does it go? This is like an uneducated question because I don't know. Does it go on your furnace? It's a totally separate thing?
Yep, it's connected to your furnace, and it brings fresh air in from outside, and it helps you control the humidity. It also reduces radon, which is another benefit.
Is it not a standard thing that they would necessarily put on?
In Minnesota, it's code. In North Dakota, it isn't.
Good point. Lars Knobloch, he's the home inspector. He's with Nordic Companies, Inc., and he's joining us. If you have any questions for him, the Laney studio lines are open, 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346, or you can text in your questions to 35270.
Text message popping in. What is building code for roof shingles as far as life and warranty?
The shingles that are typically put on are architectural shingles, and they're supposed to last up to 25 to 30 years. What the warranty is, I think it depends on the shingles that are put on. So I am a little bit on a thin ice here. I'm not gonna guess if I don't know, but the life expectancy on the shingles that are put on today are 25 to 30 years.
Is there a code for shingles and say for windows? I know, like you mentioned, the warranty which comes with them, but is there a code, expectations that have to be met for stuff like that?
Yeah, there are expectations for how the shingles should be installed with ice and water shield underneath to protect from leakage in valleys and at the eaves and stuff like that. But there's a lot of different codes for everything really, and I honestly don't know every single code.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are certainly some expectations there for installation.
The builders need to know those codes.
Oh, the roofers do.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we come in, we just see the surface, right? We don't see what's underneath.
Sure.
But there are underlayments and ice and water shields that needs to be on. There's also manufacturer's requirement for how the shingles should be fastened.
So go with somebody reputable if you're re-roofing.
Yeah.
Our Laney studio line is open. If you want to call in and talk to Lars, you sure can do that at 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346. Another text message coming in. Do houses with floor trusses have less noise suppression compared to ones with floor joists on 16-inch centers?
Good question. I don't know. It depends.
Do houses with floor trusses have less noise suppression compared to ones with floor joists on a 16-inch center?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
That's a good one to pop up on Facebook.
Yeah,
and
let me look into that.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of variables. It has to do with span too. So yeah.
Interesting.
Another thing to consider on our new construction list when you're building, to always have a radon mitigation system installed right off the bat. It's much cheaper if you install it when you're building instead of installing it after after the house is
Well,
completed.
in that way, it'll take care of issues before you deal with issues with radon, correct?
Yes. Most houses in our area have high radon, so you might as well put a mitigation system in. Chances are your house is going to have high radon.
Laney's studio line, 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346. Karen, we lost you. If you want to call back in, Karen, we'd love to take your call at 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346. Another question, and this might be wishful thinking, but Too Tall Tom's temperatures are tapping up. Is it too soon to check the air conditioner?
Yes.
Like, why would you even want to?
You don't want to turn your AC on unless it's been at least 60 degrees overnight.
See, but Bonnie doesn't like it hot.
I don't, but I don't have any need for my air conditioner right now.
Talking about air conditioners, another great tip for new construction with air conditioning units, that the condenser outside is sitting on the ground, right? And as the ground settles, the condenser is going to settle too. But there's a way around that. You can mount the condenser on a bracket that you mount to the foundation. So it doesn't matter if the soil settles, it's going to still sit there. It's not that much of an additional cost. And then you don't have to worry about dealing with your AC settling.
A great tip, a great easy tip. Our Laney studio line, 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346.
And Marcia has a window question for you, Lars. Go ahead, Marcia.
How do I know if I need to replace my windows? I purchased a home recently that was built in 1982, and it feels cold to me, but I don't know if it's the furnace, the windows, the winter, or what.
So first off, what we look at is if the windows are operable. And if they open them fine, well, then that's a good sign. If you have a lot of condensation and frost building up on your windows in the winter, do you have that?
A little, but not a lot.
Not a lot. So that's a great sign. Because windows that are really drafty usually will freeze over when it's really cold. Other things people look for is rot. If there's wood windows, there could be rot at the bottom of the sash. If the hardware is operating properly or not. If you have like a lot of fog or lost seal on your glass. There's a lot of different things that plays in there. So I would contact a window contractor to have them come out, maybe give you a cost estimate. Otherwise, a lot of people will just put like plastic treatments over the windows in the winter to kind of eliminate condensation and heat loss.
Marcia, thanks for listening. Thank you for the call. And I was going to ask you about that. So you're cool with that plastic stuff you put on with a hairdryer? You think that's acceptable?
It helps, yeah.
It does the trick. Okay, there's another question coming in. We'll try to get Lars to answer that off air. We're running out of time. Lars, if anybody has any questions for you, best number to get a hold of you at?
701-566-1446. And check out our Facebook now with our new construction story on the top 4 page.
Yes, you guys, Nordic Companies Inc., you guys are very active on your Facebook page. You've got a lot of useful information there for our listeners as well.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Lars. That's Lars Knobloch, Nordic Companies, Inc. He is a home inspector. He is in studio with us every Tuesday at 6:40 to answer your housing questions. It is 6:48.
The KFGO Weather Center forecast is powered by